So I can then decide to do, there's a TR, table row, starting from left to right, and then I have a TD. Another thing I want to work on is to create as many table data as possible. If I do width, for example, now, so if I do 400, I have this display, which is not bad. So let's do 300. So the next thing I want to also work with is the fact that I want to start coloring it, like setting the background. So I know that I can do that with style, and then background color, I can do black and white. So, but if I go on white, my white text will not show. So I can decide I want to do black and yellow. So notice what happened when I remove the text there. When I remove the text there, it closes the gap because there's no content. So there are ways for you to enforce that the content should go in there, and that's using special character. I want to capture a space. You can see as I'm pressing space here, the system is not identifying that that's a space. You can see that that section is not showing. That section is not showing as space. So how do you capture space in HTML? So it's some weird characters, and that character is this. You have to use this weird character, guys. I don't want to start going through the story on how this character gets to be, but this is what you need to specify if you want to do space. And you can use this one in place of X, because we don't actually want a content to be there. We don't want any content to be there actually. We just want to be able to create that space in between. So therefore now we can then put our black where black is. We can continue and we then put our yellow where yellow needs to be. Like I said, there are easier ways to do this, guys. So this is just making sure that you understand how this works, how background and images works. So it's just drilling you to have that idea. So what I want to do is to duplicate our TR. Know that if you duplicate your TR, it's going to give you the same thing. But now how do you mix this one? So what you can just introduce is to introduce one yellow before and remove the last one. So if I replicate this yellow, put it here, it will increase this one. So I'll bring this yellow, put it here. So do you see what it does? And then remove the last yellow there. So this last yellow, I remove it. So that creates that pattern, that pattern. So it's making sense now. So I can then duplicate, so I can copy the first TR and the second TR. Is good to copy now. So I can go and copy all of them like this. So because they now create that illusion. So I'll copy, I think I'll paste how many times now? I'll paste, I guess 4 more times or so. So since it's 8 by 8, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's set. So you've created a tile, right? Set of tiles or something like that. So you guys should remind me, we will do this again in the CSS class, and you see how simple it is to do with CSS. You will not write half of this code. So now the chess piece. How do you put the chess piece inside? So let's do it that a player is staying on the left hand side, another player is staying on the right hand side. So that can be a thing. So that we'll fill up let's fill up the black space. So the black space will fill it up with your chess piece. That's where it will be filled up. So let's go ahead and see where the first guy will sit. So let me use X again, just to show you. So if I use X, this is where our chess piece will sit. So your chess piece will stay here. So this is where you are going to implement image. So if you put your image right there, your image will just, your chess piece will sit there. So let's go ahead and do Google and get a chess piece online. So I'm just going to do, I'll save in the project directory. Okay, so these 3 are what we need. So I have those 3 there, and I'm going to give them name that I can just use. So you have to make sure that they are named appropriately so that you don't misspell them, because if you misspell them, they might not come up the way you want them to come up. So let's now bring it into our chessboard. let's go to the code. The first item here, which you have X, is showing on the top section there. So how do you bring in your image? Very easy. You know how to use image now. You just do your img, then src, and how do you specify the location? That's immediately you put /, it shows you all the locations available. Then you specify the image that you want to bring in. So we can bring in that there. Obviously you can see that it's taking over all the screen. You need to specify the size. So you can use the width attribute to specify the size of what you want to do. So we have 16 there. So immediately you can see that it's messing up with your tile. So there are options of what you can do. You can lock the TD, table data, to a specific width. So therefore, so that it doesn't adjust your width, whatever is happening, the width remains the same. So if you do your width and say 20, so you can see what happened. Our width is staying at 20 at all points. So that means you have to do the math. If you do 20 times 8, what do we have? 20 times 8. Let's do 30. 30 times 8 is what? That's 2 whatever. So if I want to make the whole cell 30 now, so I want to make the whole cell 30. I think 30 is good. So I'll just do a shortcut to quickly check all the TD in the system. And once it sees all the TD in the system, I should be able to, write this code and make all the column 30. So I can even do 40. I can do 30 by 30. So I can actually also specify the height. Yeah, I know I didn't show you guys this. This one is cheating. I didn't show you guys this one. But those are the things you can do with table data. You can adjust the width and the height. And you can also do this with styling. But I didn't want us to focus on all these parameters because that's not the intention. The next thing you want to do is, we've been able to bring this in. We've been able to bring in this. So you can add this to the next section. The next section is on the front side. If you want to go down, you need to go to the next table row, which is here. The next table row is here. Then you can go ahead and put the information there. So this is how you add all the information you need to add. And you can change the next piece. So let's put the next piece here. So that's Bishop. So you could do alignment in terms of the styling or in terms of the table property. The table property allows you to align the content, or you could use text align inside the style of the content that will be in the table data. So do you see what happened now? This section is aligned. So I can automatically align all the content